CFG Game Cast, episode number 255, a weekly podcast created by gamers and streamers alike to discuss the latest gaming topics from the previous week. We stream a new episode every week and release on all podcast services oh man, I was going to say Apple. Well, Apple is still around. See, here's the problem. Here's the thing, Pop, and then you don't even know. So for the longest of time, I've said Apple, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, and Podbean.
And so much more.
And so much more. However, Stitcher doesn't exist anymore. Podbean doesn't happen anymore. And
Podbean's still a thing.
Podbean, does Podbean around? Okay, well, so
I use Podbean. What?
Okay, well, anyways, I might as well just say just podcast services just to protect my butt.
Just say podcast services. Wherever you listen to podcasts,
there's a podcast you can find. CFG Game
It's a lot
Cast.
easier. It's a lot easier for me to say that, so I don't. So any future sense, but I always have to stop myself because I did like 200 episodes of it that way. Oh, you just disappeared. She's like, this conversation's over. But so do us a favor and show us some love by liking, following, subscribing, and commenting, or do us a favor and also rate our podcast on all podcast services as well. That goes a long way. And be a part of the conversation as always, and we will go from there. Anyways, I got my two awesome co-hosts. I got Pop in the second seat. What is going on, Pop? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. My spring break is unfortunately coming to a close, but I am enjoying my new monitor quite a bit. I don't think I was here when I got... No, I wasn't. Yeah.
You were talking about it, I think.
Yeah, I have the... Samsung Galaxy G9, a whopping 49 inches. It might as well just be 50 inches. Greatness.
It's crazy.
That's awesome.
That's like a super. That has to be a super ultra, right? Like there has to be something beyond ultra because an ultra doesn't go 49 inches. That's a ridiculous span. That's two monitors.
It is, it is. In fact, I use it as if it's two monitors all the time, and it's great. I love it. Because I was going to downsize the two monitors, and my brother was like, why don't you just get a big one? And then I got this one. He's just like, I know I told you to get a big one, but did you have to go that big? I was like, it was your idea. And he's just like, shut up.
It's like, hey, if you can't like deal with it, then you should not have suggested it. So there you go. That is hilarious. Wait, well, do you play the game in the full, like using the full monitor, or do you at least have it to a certain resolution where it actually makes sense, like a 16:9 resolution?
If it's just me, myself, and I, the games that I can play in ultra wide, I do. But if I'm hanging around in Discord or something like that, I'll use the picture-in-picture or picture-by-picture mode where it just splits the screen, and then it's the regular 16:9 on both sides for both my browser, Discord, and then the game.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. I like that. I like it looks interesting. Every time I see it, it's like, wow, that looks freaking awesome. So, but I just can't pull the trigger. Not quite yet for it. But
when you do, you won't regret it because I have yet to.
Can you make it vertical? Like you can make it like just like stretch at 49 vertical?
Why would you want to?
I don't know if I would want to do that. I've seen people do it.
You're like,
I've definitely seen people have like a large vertical monitor, but I wouldn't want to do that. Not with this. And it's a curved monitor.
It's curved, yeah.
And
that's
it's curved.
it's like I feel like you're underutilizing what it could be doing.
Okay.
By making it vertical.
You know what's funny? So when I went to work, the work wanted to buy a PC to only specifically make the PC that's only going to use it for Zoom and maybe some Word tablets and stuff. So
Zoom's
I thought
Skype is
gone. Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. So this shouldn't be a very powerful computer. They bought a gaming PC. And they didn't buy. It wasn't just like they bought an Alienware that was running a 4090 and 128 gigs of RAM and stuff. And I was like, what did y'all pay? Like, how much y'all pay for this? He said $4,000, and I'm just like, for Zoom, this computer is going to be. It's like, no, we're going to be doing some Doom tournaments or something. I don't know. We're going to be doing something inside here with these TVs with this computer. Jesus. Anyways, I digress. But you know what, Pop? Oh, I guess not.
I'm wondering if no, I'm thinking, like, I'm just sitting here like doing the math. I'm like, they did all this just for a Zoom. Can they donate the people that actually game and Zoom?
I know, right? I was just thinking like maybe just take the graphics card out and then just plop in a 1080. Like they wouldn't know it.
They wouldn't even know
the
yeah.
So there you go.
Exactly.
Shoot, that's what I was gonna say. But before I get arrested or something because I do some stupid thing like that. Hey, do you know, Pop? Do you know the person who is basically going to be doing a live Temu stream soon?
I don't know. Would you fill me in on this information? This is new to me.
Yes, it would be the 5-star general of the itty bitty Smitty committee. I got Smitty in the third seat. What's going on, my dude?
Look, it's gonna be like the home shopping network. We're gonna sit there. We're gonna buy things on Temu. It's gonna be fantastic. I can get on board with it. What is up, friends? Last weekend was great. Again, huge thanks. It was. I know Davies was on. Who was the other guest host as well?
Avatar Yaya.
Yes, Avatar Yaya. Great episode. Well done. Again, thank you guys so much for coming on and helping us while we were out. But yeah, it was solid. We did the the first Fortnite Battle for Nevada Fortnite Ballistics tournament. 2 days. A lot of fun. Huge thanks to the parents that came out. Those were some long days too. So
what was the pot? Was there a pot?
There was no pot. We had like medals and stuff like that.
Something tangible.
Yeah.
Participation badge. That's what you essentially just said.
Okay, but you get to flex that in person. You can't flex that you won money from a tournament. I would listen. If I had to choose between a pot prize and something physical, I want something physical.
Yeah. So, and I think there were some things too with them being kids and stuff like that. So obviously there's some legal things that go into some of that stuff, but overall it was a great time. The kids had a blast. We had a blast being out there. The Army National Guard was a huge sponsor of the things. They came in. We had Brigadier General Lau that came in, spoke with the kids and stuff like that as well. So overall, it was just a great event. We had people like Fatality and Silly come in. We had somebody, AJ from Meta came in. So it was a jam-packed weekend, but it was a ton of fun. Again, huge congratulations to the Combustors as well. They won the tournament. But yeah, other than that, though, I was saying, like, I can't get off of Warriors Abyss, dude. Like, it's just so much fun. There's so many different combinations and people to use. Like, that is a game. I said it. I am going to beat it with every character at least.
It's like 100 characters.
Yeah, there's 100 characters. So I've beaten it with 10 characters so far. So I got a long ways to go, but it's a quick, nice, like you can jump in. Even if you don't finish a full run, you can even hop out of the game. It'll save your place. And when you hop back in, you'll start right back up where you left off. So that's really nice. Yeah. I was like, I had no idea. I had to bounce one time. And when I came back, I was like, oh, snap. It's exactly where I left off. Perfect. I thought I was going to have to start a new run. So I'm loving that. We're working on a Frag Punk review as well. So I've been playing that on the back end. I'll probably get a stream of that in sometime, probably this weekend. And then there's something else as well, this beta that I am working on for a review, but staying busy. Also at work, like I said, for VSiN Live, we launched on socials. This is their first, like, primarily it's on Sirius XM, but they wanted to bring a video element to it. So I've been doing the technical producing, technical directing of that show. This is our first full week was this past week. So it was a great start to that. So staying busy doing things, my friend.
Wow. Sounds like it, man. You've been on the run. Jesus. That's great.
Yeah. But we got weekends back, baby. We got weekends back. So it is so nice to be able to have time to spend with the family and it was definitely a challenge. There's other challenges, of course, that come from that because my schedule is later. So we're still kind of working out bedtimes and dinners and stuff like that, but we're getting there. I see you, Poppy.
Yeah, that's good. That's funny. But yeah, dude, that's awesome, man. That's just been busy. Well, yeah.
What about you though? How was your week been, brother?
Oh, it was good. This was it was my birthday this week, and I I finally streamed a game. I haven't streamed a game in like 4 months. It's freaking insane. It's like, wow, I've been wanting to do it for a long time, and we had a great time with Monster Hunter, dude. It's like had a lot of people then come to realize I probably need to readjust my Discord to have private Discord channels because I don't have them. Yeah, I don't. Well, I do, but it's for the website. Ballsy. But I don't have it for streaming because I don't usually play with other people on stream. This is new. Essentially, it's been a long time. So yeah,
you can make a separate one in the site. Just be like, gaming with Davies or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. I just don't have one. All I did was I just had a general voice, and I was like, wow, there was a lot of people that were coming in, and I was like, you know what? And I didn't mind it. It was just. I didn't mind it. It was just, but it was
until
like a lot.
You get that one person that does the crazy thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And then everything's gonna get locked down.
Well, luckily, we didn't have that craziness to that extent. It was just that we just had a lot of people over talking with other people over people. You can only play with 4 people at a time, and then when you have like 9 people inside their Discord, it's like, this is too much chat. So I mean, it was good. It was a nice problem to have, I would say. Then which is really cool. We right now I got a key for Expedition 33, so I'm going to be so I'm messing with that.
Slut.
Yeah.
Jesus. Can you say that?
Yeah, no, well, clearly he did. He really did.
On twitch.tv. Oh my god.
Yeah, I know, right? Jeez. You just taking up breaking the barrier. So so I'm just gonna play it. Can't just saying that more right now. So so hopefully
should pass it on to me.
Here's some good things. Yeah, pass it to you. You already played you
should have passed it on to me, son. You should have focused on Monster Hunter or whatever, Wilds. And I'll focus on Expedition 33.
Wilds is a game that I'm playing because I love it. I'm playing because it's my game. But no, this is going to be one too. Yeah. So we'll see how that. Yeah,
I can't wait to see your review on it. Yeah, that game's been on my radar for a while.
Yeah, I mean, dude, April's gonna be a busy month because besides Expedition 33, what's the name of that other one that's coming out? The Louisiana was it in Louisiana?
South of Midnight.
Yeah, South of Midnight's gonna be. Yeah, South of Midnight's a big one, and I mean, it's just like it's gonna be a busy month of like story-driven games, and I cannot wait for it. So South of Midnight is going to be a day one Xbox release. I was trying to get a key for that, but I still haven't heard back on that one. It's been going good. And then my sister, get this. So my sister gave me a pass to go to get a massage or a massage treatment at the Ritz-Carlton.
Yes.
And I've never had a massage in my life, so I don't know how this is going to go. I'm kind of worried.
Number one, can I request that it is recorded?
I'm not going to record that. I don't know what's going to happen. It's a deep tissue, like you said. Yeah, it's a deep tissue massage thing. So the way that she was describing it, I was like, that sounds painful. So I don't know.
Pain is pleasure, my friend.
I don't know what to expect, but we'll see where this is going to go, and I'm not gonna humiliate myself.
And it's at the Ritz-Carlton, dude. Like like have permission to act like an asshole. You can be bougie all you want, dude. Like you've earned it. That is what your sister purchased for you, is the right to be able to do that and like get your body worked out, having hands all up on you and stuff like that. You're gonna love it. It's fantastic.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll see on Monday. It's gonna happen on Monday afternoon, so we're gonna see how that's gonna go. I'm looking forward to it and checking it out. But so that's that. So that's going to happen. And also one more thing, just to say, it's been confirmed. Lex, Smitty, and I are going to be going to Arizona on April 3rd to April 6th. I want to say 3rd, 4th, 5th. Yeah, 3rd through the 6th. We're going to be attending Game On Expo. And we're going to be doing a panel there, which we'll be releasing some,
Where's
giving
the
out
code?
some awesome prizes. I messed it up, so like I had to delete it, but no, I'll worry about it in a minute.
Yeah.
But but if you go to the website, if you go to gameonexpo.com and then put in the code the CFG on the code, you'll get some money off on the tickets, the ticket prices. It's going to be a really cool, fun experience. Our panel is going to be what is your hot take in gaming, like a gaming hot take, and we discuss. So that's going to be a very good one. And the good one.
It'll be a nice back and forth.
It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to that. So yeah, definitely. And I found out the time. It's going to be 1 p.m. on Saturday for our panel.
Beautiful.
So that's perfect timing. So we're going to be good. So yeah, we're going to be definitely doing it. We're definitely going to be checking it out. Definitely come by, say hi. As always, it's going to be a fun experience. Check it out then. So, but anyways, I know, let's stop upselling. I know y'all don't want to be talking about what my experience of going to a convention, and also to see what kind of massage I'm gonna freak out on. But we'll go through the normal rigmarole that we like to do each and every week. So each of us chooses the topic of discussion in the world of video games that happened in the previous week. The topic would or could be a game itself or something that happened in the gaming industry. We do not want to talk about it amongst ourselves, so we want you, the listeners and viewers on Twitch and on YouTube. Finally got YouTube working. So that's great. So to be a part of the conversation as always. So we got Lex in the background here that's moderating, doing her awesome job that she always does.
Woo-woo.
So yep. So if you're wanting to chime in, by all means, just type it inside the chat. We will discuss with you from there. So my topic is a game that I'm surprised that I'm actually more hyped about, that I would have thought that I wouldn't want to try playing, but I played the old Silent Hills. I played Silent Hill 1 and 2 and The Room back in the day when it was on the PS1 and the PS2. I loved the game. Never played the remake. I wanted to play the remake, but I haven't done it yet. But it looks like, but I'm going to play the remake. They just yesterday, Konami has officially released their first trailer for Silent Hill F. This was announced back in 2023, so we knew it was going to be coming, but we didn't know what this game was going to be. I saw the trailer. This seems like a game that is definitely up Lex's alley. Lex, are you a fan of Silent Hill? I'm not even sure if you are.
Yes.
You are?
I just never got to play the first one.
Okay, you don't need to really play the first. You don't really need to play the first one, but it's okay. I mean, and it's aged horribly. Silent Hill 1 is only on the PS1, and I don't think you would get into it. But yeah, so what this one is about is this game takes place in Japan, but it's in the 60s in Japan. So this is a completely different like place and location from what they normally do it, because Silent Hill was a place and a location. So the game itself, it takes you're playing Shimizu Hinako in a secluded town of I don't even know the name, Ebisu Gaoka. Is consumed by a sudden fog, transforming her home into a haunting nightmare. And then as the town falls silent and the fogs thicken, Hinako must navigate to the twisted paths of Ebisu Gaoka. I'm terribly destroying this name. Solving complex puzzles and confronting grotesque monsters to survive. This game is, and the person that's doing the writing in this is going to be specific, is the creator of the anime Higurashi. If you ever seen that series or if you know of it, it's a crazy thriller anime that I would suggest y'all should definitely watch. So he's the writer of this of F, and with if he has the mind of what he did in Higurashi and he's putting it in a game like this is what's getting me interested in wanting me to check this game out. I am all on board of this game. So so this is going I don't know. I know, Smitty, you're not usually a horror guy, but like but I don't know what your interest is on this, Pop. So I kind of want to get y'all's take about this, or what y'all thought about this.
Go ahead, Pop.
I'm only familiar with Silent Hill from the movies, but I will say, like, the announcement of this itself was kind of like a shadow drop to me, because I wasn't expecting it. Especially with, other games being on my radar, Fatal Fury is coming out soon. We got Bleach Rebirth, The Souls next week. So when I saw this, the announcement for this week. So I'm like, okay, so Konami is just doing more than what I originally anticipated for this year. And for this to come out right after they did the whole Metacritic ratings for publishers and game devs, where Sega placed first and a couple of others come up, I'm starting to see this grand rise of just Japanese developers and publishers just literally just going ham with their flagship franchises.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm surprised that, I mean, as good as this game looks for, especially like, with Konami, because Konami's been like the wild card of what we were going to be expecting, in the future, because we knew they incredibly downsized, the hits that made Konami, and we didn't know exactly a brand new IP, like, I'm not a brand new IP, but a brand new insert of a known series like this to a company that hasn't really been, in the thick of things in the gaming on the gaming side for a long period of time, made me kind of worried about what was my expectations for this game. I mean, even though Silent Hill 2 is a success, it was still a game that was already made in the past and that was just being revamped. Right. But now, this is now from the ground up, and it seems like they definitely are. They've hit a really good core of what they were wanting for the next rendition of Silent Hill, especially the fact that this isn't like, because when you think of Silent Hill, you're thinking of the city, the town the name of the town was Silent Hill. This is a completely different location. This is a completely different area. This is a completely different era of where the original ones were coming out, and I guess that's what makes me really hyped on what their rendition of this is going to be. Yeah,
I was really taken aback by that, because it, like, off her uniform alone, I'm assuming we're about maybe 1950s, 1960s, and then the Japanese setting. I'm just like, okay, this is clearly they have a target audience for this. Especially with like the recent increase with, different anime fans liking Japanese anime horror based things. I wouldn't be surprised if they took some inspiration from those series in making, when they made this.
I love the fact that they're doing this. I always get worried, especially when there's like a ton of like remakes and stuff happening. But I felt like they did what they did with this. They kind of got people hyped up about the Silent Hill series. And then to follow up, they're like, here's a brand new Silent Hill in a completely different setting, in a completely different story. It's almost like the jump off of a new chapter of Silent Hill, and then they can build off of whatever comes out of Silent Hill F. I like it. Again, will I play it? Absolutely not. But I will watch people play it. I've got no problem watching somebody else play this. This is definitely something that I would enjoy watching somebody else play and watching them get freaked out.
I think I would probably raise my hand for trivia for this, because you already know me. I Lex has always tried me to play Labyrinthine again ever since that one time. And I was freaking out with the mazes sometimes, with just the stupid chiming with those. Oh God, that irritated me. I'd probably, this is a game that this is definitely going to be on my radar. I would definitely love to try this, and y'all probably going to be making fun of me just like jump scaring, because it's like that's how Silent Hill has always been for me. Lex, I don't know if you're like you. I know your hands are getting a little bit better. Or like how like. Is this something that you think that this is going to be something that you would see yourself playing in the near future?
Oh yeah, for sure. I need to play the remake. I had started it, I think. Oh my gosh, it's been a while. I want to play Silent Hill 2, the remake, but I don't think you have to have played the previous ones to play this one, because it is set in the 1960s. So similar but different, But yeah, I would definitely play this, and I would definitely play this sitting on my big fuzzy couch on the TV, just to make Adam watch, because he will not play this. But if I'm playing it, he is then forced to watch it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely, most definitely. I totally agree. Well, Vegito says that Silent Hill 2 remake is currently on sale on Steam, which I might have to take a look at that.
I did see that. Mm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we do have the spring sale going on. I also want to add, I'm curious about how the soundscape for this will be, considering that Silent Hill, even though it's not made by a Western company, essentially it's like a Westernized series. So I'm wondering how the soundtrack and ambient noises will kind of add on to that immersion of it taking place outside of the U.S., but particularly in Japan.
I have my faith in what they're going to do with this, and the fact that
I don't have doubts. I'm just curious about what they're going to use and what they're going to. This is just curiosity. This isn't a critique at all.
Curiosity?
Just natural curiosity. Like, what the heck are they going to do to have that Silent Hill? What's the thing? Like, when you hear a soundtrack, like, it's Final Fantasy, it's Sonic the Hedgehog, it's Yakuza.
Yeah.
Like, what is going to be the marker that this is still Silent Hill, even though it's not taking place in the US while being in a new place?
Yeah.
I wonder how they're going to blend those things.
Yeah, the only thing that I kind of question right now, and it's not a bad thing, it's just because usually when you have studios, and especially when you have an IP like, a known IP like Silent Hill, you would want to know the name of the studio that's going to be following it. The studio itself that's doing it, it's Neobards Entertainment. And I don't believe that. I think this is really their first AAA game. So let me see what games that they've done in the past.
It looks good.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It definitely looks really good.
Yeah. Well, is there when is this supposed to be coming out? This year?
There's no street date yet.
Oh, okay.
And,
we probably won't know until Summer Game Fest.
Yeah. Not only that, though, too, it's going to be kind of hard because I think that they're going to probably focus on trying to keep the steam with Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake.
Right.
And I believe when's Metal Gear Solid 3 coming out? August, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same week as Shinobi, I think. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. So, so I think what that's going to odds are, I think we're not going to see this till next year, if I had to guess. But
Neopart worked on FF7 Rebirth.
Yeah, but they don't say what they did. Yeah. They don't know they just
play that.
They just said like, hey, yeah, we worked on it. They could have been like, hey, we made this one building on the inside that one stage, and that's it. We don't know exactly. So who knows? But no, but it's cool. But like I said, but this is a one that's going to be 100% them ground up, which is going to be cool. This
will come out in October, right? It's gotta.
I don't think it's going to come out in October. I really don't think it will.
I think looking at its history, it was announced back in 2021. So But if we look at the current release cycle of games, this year or even early next year would be a good window for it.
Yeah. I mean, October would be the ideal. But then again, though, too, everyone is terrified of GTA 6. So,
you're right.
So, yeah. So I don't think there's no way. I don't think if it comes out in the fall like that, they're to compete against that, especially what they're wanting to deal with. And they already have a banger that's coming out with Metal Gear that's too close anytime sooner than that. So that's why I'm saying it might be. I think it's going to logically be 2026, but.
Since the sound design sounds very similar to Song of Horror.
Similar to the horror anthology?
I've heard of that game.
Song of Horror. It was there's a lot of games. I want to say Davies recommended it.
I did.
Yeah, so correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a lot of World War II references in Song of Horror. And so I want to say the timelines are very close, and the sound design for the background just in that beginning scene it gave me chills and reminds me of Song of Horror. So I'm excited.
That's awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to check this out. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, this is like there's always a blue moon for me on wanting to do a horror game. I can't really do horrors that much, but Silent Hill is probably the one. It's an exception. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to have to play 2 though. The remake of 2, because I've told my friends tell me 2 is really good. The remake is really good, but I'm just been kind of, procrastinating on it, but we'll see. We'll go from there. So, but nope. So yeah, so like I said, for Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill F coming in the we don't know when, but the video, everything makes me hyped for it. Can't wait for it to come out. So we'll go from there. All right, Pop, what's your topic? What are you bringing to the table?
I decided to veer off a little bit from talking about a game directly and wanted to talk a little bit more about what AMD has been doing. Not only have they come out with a new graphics card, but they now have a new CPU with the 9950 XD and the there's another one. I think it's like the 9900 XD or X3D. Sorry.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
As someone who's working on getting a new PC, I kind of like that they're coming out with this stuff because it gives me more things to look at, and hopefully more things will be available on the market as I build my new big rig. I was going to go with a dual setup, but I changed my mind. I'm just going to go with one big one to reel everything home. But looking at...
You still technically could go dual PC, because I mean the PC that you're using now could be your stream PC.
Second.
Yeah, but I could also just, give it to my mom and she plays The Sims and I don't have to worry about her breaking into my room every 30 minutes.
Or you could do what my work did and said, just go to play The Sims and decide to spend a $4,000 computer.
But what has me particularly interested in this CPU is that they kind of like heavy market it towards content creators and gamers, but with the promise with content creation, there's just like, it's good in terms of, professional and gaming use. And Intel has been on the back burner for a while. I mean, granted, I have an Intel CPU right now, but they've been on the back burner for a while. And I'm wondering, with the way the market looks for PC gaming, you have NVIDIA and their RTX cards kind of dominating the market, and then AMD and their CPUs kind of dominating the processors. What do you think Intel would have to do in order to break the mold specifically for gamers and content creators? Or do you think they're just going to be on the back end with, video editors, the 9-to-5 professionals, that sort of thing?
I mean, AMD has done a good job on figuring out how don't get me wrong, there are certain games that run better on the Intel than it does on AMD. There are mm-hmm. For instance, Black Myth Wukong is a prime example that it works better on an Intel than it does on AMD. It's really just a matter of if they change their technology on the chipset to be more friendlier on the gaming side. And you know what? In my opinion, I don't mind the way it is how it is now. If AMD's strength is using it for regular everyday, processing for a certain suite specifically for that, and it can do games just not as good as, what an AMD does, then so be it. I mean, it's not like that. It's not like they're losing. Well, I mean, they definitely are probably losing money on the opinion for a gamer side, but they're still, it's not like the loss isn't monumental for them to be panicking about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So now when it comes to the 9950, because when I saw the card and I saw the specs, I was like, oh my God, I got to get this card. But the card is kind of pricey. It's about, I believe it's like a $750 card or chip. Yeah. Sorry. $750 chip. I always say card. It's always going to be schmexy as hell, because I mean those cards are schmexy. When it hits 9 series have always been even prior to the 9950s have always been the top max for
absolutely
the best optimized level for gaming, and they just found an even better way of doing it, which is more amazing, So I'm looking forward to seeing where they're going to go. If Intel decides to do something like this on their end, that we know that they're kind of dabbing on it, especially with their new Intel Arc graphics cards that they've been introducing as of late.
Right.
They would have to change they would have to change or find the technology or something that would shift into the chip on how it's processing processing gaming itself, and that will take a little bit. That's going to take a while, and you got to get it at a good sweet price because Intel chips are still more expensive than AMD chips.
Absolutely.
Like, yeah, so that's another thing though too that they would have to look at too. So they need to find a way to optimize it, find a cheaper way of selling them, and then have a justifiable reason for them to for the switch, for someone to say, oh, okay, we can't go through AMD anymore. We have to go through with Intel. So I don't know. What do you think, Smitty?
Yeah, I'm kind of on both. You know, I've been switching over to AMD more and more. However, I am still running RTX. What do I have? 4070, I think.
A regular
is what I have.
A card.
Yeah, it's good.
A super or regular?
Okay. Regular. Yeah, okay. Yeah, not super. I don't think I had the chassis to be able to.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been too big. I mean, I do, but I have a different build that I'm working on for my dad. Yeah, I mean, I love seeing this kind of competition. I love AMD. Again, I feel like you get good quality out of AMD with not so much the hefty price that Intel has, you know, NVIDIA and stuff like that has turned into. So I personally have been leaning more towards an AMD full out build, getting away from Intel and doing things that way, especially if they continue, you know, doing what they're doing and at these affordable rates. Of course, the other big thing too that we have to take into account, that we have to think about, is with these tariffs and all that talk that's happening, we're going to get the pricing is going to get higher, and it's going to be across the board, I imagine, on all kinds of things. But electronic parts and things of that nature are also going to get hit on this, which we are going to get the brunt of that, increase in pricing. So, you know, now might be the time that you want to look and see if you can find a deal. But again, I'm not trying to scare people into going out. This is not a toilet paper situation or anything like that. But what it takes me back to is, you know, during COVID and everything was shut down and whatnot, and how the supply chain was shorted, how the demand was there, but they could not meet the supplies. It's not going to be quite the same. But shit's gonna be expensive. So if you do plan on, I'm either hold off, wait for a bubble to burst, or try to get in early now before that stuff sets in. Again, it could also not be the case and things could play out differently. This is just a matter of where you're at in terms of, hey, are you good to be able to hold off for a couple of years, for a few years? You know, if the prices do go up, then I'd say just hold out. That's the boat that I'm in. I don't need anything. It's not dire that I get anything now. So I'm just going to kind of sit back, watch how things play out. And then, you know, if there's something that makes sense to make an upgrade or something, then I'll do it. But I'm in no kind of rush right now. I'm in a good position to where I can just sit out and see how it plays out.
I would love to get I think the biggest issue is what you're saying about with pricing. Cause I mean, dude, it's like I remember when you can get a board for like $100 or $200. Now it's like these crazy boards are hitting almost at $400 and $500, which is just crazy now, which is insane. And don't even get me started with the GPUs, because GPUs right now are ridiculous, especially with aftermarket sellers and like scalpers and stuff are just destroying the market when it comes to this kind of stuff. To say that we are able to get like a graphics card, a processor for it, especially as you know, the 9950s are going to be like hot items because of what it's been proven what it can do, especially for streamers and content creators alike. That it's going to be they're going to sell like hotcakes, and hopefully the demand of it won't get to a point where you're going to be dishing out over $1,000 on just a CPU like it was back in the pandemic times, you know. So it's interesting. It's interesting that it's still like but like when it comes between the Intel and AMD itself, there's no clearer choice other than like if you're wanting to spend you're saying okay you were going to get less for more with Intel, but the like even if you get the high end card for AMD to play the best optimal way for gaming, then even that it may not be the best for rendering and doing things like that, but it's still good. It's still really good, you know. For that, it's always going to be through AMD. I just feel like Intel has a long way to go for them to kind of get to where AMD is at now, because like Intel's like has not even been in my mind until like early 2000s. Then AMD decided to say, "Hey, we're going to start doing new chipsets ever since the AM2 sets." And then it's like, "Okay, we're going to get our shit together." So yeah,
right.
Is that what you're planning on getting, bought? Are you going to get Are you going to go 9950?
It depends. I've been seeing some reviews where they're just like, "Oh, you know, the 9950 XCD isn't worth it if you have like the was it the 9 if you already have a 9000 processor," but it's more so just gonna depend on what a custom build is looking like. I'm probably gonna go through like iBuyPower or CyberPower's website and just build based on what they have, because they always have these daily deals things. But the goal is to definitely get the new PC for gaming and streaming this year before we start to see those price increases from tariffs and things, should they come to pass.
Don't you have a Micro Center? Do you have a Micro Center near you?
6 hours away, yeah.
Oof.
Well, okay, you probably should. Yeah,
not near.
Yeah, it's not near, but it's like because I just hate the fact that like if to go through. Don't get me wrong, it's not any. I'm not knocking iBuyPower. I just don't like buying from people not developers, companies like that because of bloatware. It's the biggest issue I have, and the markup is just ridiculous. When I saw this, like the fact that like back to my work guy spending $4,000 on the computer, I was like, that is not worth $4,000.
Wild,
like,
especially with just and you said they had a 4090, and for $4,000. I'd let it slide if it was like at least a 5070 or a 5070 Ti, but for a 4090, I don't know. How much RAM is it?
It's still way too expensive. 128 gigs. That's a lot of RAM.
That might be why it's $4,000. That's a lot of RAM.
No,
that's a lot of RAM.
4090 is obsolete, but they still sell for like $2,000 to $3,000 though. Just the graphics card alone.
That's crazy.
So I'm just like, it's crazy, and I just don't. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah. Yeah, no, if you need a computer built, you have people that know how to build computers around you. So, yeah, I'm just saying.
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to Pop. Like, I'm just saying, like, you have people to build people around you. Like, I mean, if you do, like, see, like, before you decide to shoot the trigger, see if someone can make a better deal for you before you do. That's all I'm saying.
I'll look into it. Okay. I'm more so just... I mean, there's also like exotic PCs and things like that. I'm sorry, Lex.
No, you're totally fine. I had priced, what was it, last year when we got our new PCs? I had been pricing parts out, I don't know, for about a year and a half to get everything and just build it myself because I built a lot of computers. Unfortunately, at the time, it was just cheaper for me to get the pre-built. And they still have really good deals. I can send you a link to who I got my PC through. But and then they can customize it for you too if you want. That way you're not having to worry about it.
Oh no, you guys don't hear Lex? Oh, that's a Davies fumble right there. I'll go ahead and throw that out right now.
It's okay.
That's weird. It's like she says on B, it's showing it's recording for her, which is weird.
Oh, weird.
Hold on.
Essentially, she said teraflops.
Awkward.
Yep. Exactly.
Awkward. Like, what are they? What are they just looking at? Don't worry, Zencaster picked it up. Zencaster knows.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. That's weird. But then again, to be fair, my computer was acting a fool earlier. So
yeah, the screen just went black. On
yes,
Twitch.
it did. I thought it was me.
Okay, there we go. Well, my bad. My bad. Okay. Anyways, yeah, I don't know what's going on with this thing, but we'll see. We'll figure it out. It's figure it out in a later time. But anyways, Smitty, why don't you close us out? What are you bringing to the table?
If you hadn't figured it out, if you weren't looking at the screen, or if you're on podcast, we're talking about, y'all, they are killing Star Wars hunters. It has been less than a year. The game has been out for 8 months, and they have made a decision that they are going to be closing down the servers starting October 1st. This is really unfortunate. The game is fun. We know that it came out, it launched on Switch and mobile, and that was all you could play it on. They recently, here a couple months back, did a PC beta test for the game. Obviously, they must not have gotten good response from it. That's the only thing I could think of, but it's a free-to-play game. It's a hero shooter. Obviously, it's a huge IP in Star Wars. I thought, especially with this hinting at coming to PC, that this had some viability to it. It was going to open it up to a bigger audience. It is a smaller community with it being mobile and Switch, but it is a very passionate and fun community. I got to dabble in it a little bit when I was playing some rank, but it's a solid game. So they're essentially going to be rerunning the season 5, the rewards, the stuff there. You have more time to do ranked as well. So I might get in and try to get that Kyber 1 before this game says bye. They're going to stop any kind of in-app purchases. That is the one thing that makes me a little salty, is the fact that I actually did spend money on a few of these season passes, which included the new hunters as well in those season passes. So they do have another hunter they're going to be coming out with. It's a healer. They're going to be giving that out for free along with other stuff. This is just unfortunate, though. I hate to see it, especially with this being such a popular IP. Like, nothing is impervious to the volatility of the gaming industry, as you can see. And it's unfortunate because we never really know what those metrics look like. Obviously, people need to make money, these companies and whatnot, but not knowing, hey, how much did this cost? How much you guys, how far down are you guys? The fact that they're going to be walking away from this game, again, they put a lot of work into this, and I think it could have been a viable game, especially with it coming to PC, and then eventually probably coming to consoles or something like that as well. It just sucks. And to me, it just kind of really puts into the spotlight again. And I think more and more companies are realizing that you can't just make a free-to-play game and people are just going to come and you're going to make buckets and buckets of money. And we talked about this here a couple weeks ago. Everyone's trying to kind of emulate that Fortnite cash cow that is, but there's a lot that goes into these live service games. And I feel like there's only a certain few live service games that people are willing to put that kind of time investment in. And that's really what it comes down to. Even with this game, it's a time investment. Do I want to rank up? Do I want to play just to get the rewards and do the battle pass stuff? What's going to get me, coming back and playing? And there's only, folks only have a few games like that they can legitimately put the time into and put that grind into. Otherwise, there's just not enough time in a day. And I think that's where a lot of these live service games fail, is that what they don't understand is that it may be a free to play game, but it also uses up the biggest commodity that we have, which is time. So people are going to be selective about which games they are going to put that time into. And you would think, hey, with a big IP like Star Wars, this is gonna be great. But you got to think about the trajectory of Star Wars and where it's been. And I feel like it's been on a downward slope for a while now. There's been some bangers. Andor, I heard is good. I still need to watch Andor. Skeleton Crew, I've heard good things. I haven't watched that yet. There's been some, the side things that have come off, but I feel like in totality, the Star Wars universe has kind of been on the down. So I guess it's a bigger IP, but this newer, I feel like Star Wars is more of a nostalgic thing and for people my age and older than it is for younger people. And don't get me wrong, I know they had like there's the cartoon, I can't remember which one. I heard it was really good as well. So they're trying to bring in a newer audience, but to me, it doesn't feel or seem like the same as it was when I was growing up with Star Wars and how big the Star Wars IP is. So I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on it. I don't know if you guys ever got a chance to play it. But yeah, I wanted to see what you guys thought. This one makes me sad for sure.
I've always seen this game as not because it was a Star Wars IP, but rather that the way that it was marketed was like it was very limited as it was, because it initially came in as a game that was it was released solely on the Switch, right? So and mobile. So like just in that aspect, I was just like, and the way it looks, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's not bad. It's just, it doesn't look like a game that you would think that they were expecting a lot from. And I don't think that they did. I think it did enough to be like, oh, okay, it was definitely getting it. Cause you remember when I think, what was it? Was it PAX last year?
Yes.
Like we thought that because the direction was that they were
they had a huge booth.
Yeah, they were trying to get
PAX.
they were trying to get a bit, they were hyped because they were moving it over to Steam, thinking that the numbers were going to get any better. Did the game come out on Steam, or did they just they just shut it down?
They did the beta. They did a beta test for it, and that was the last. And they just stopped.
Okay, so I don't think that it's a matter of the IP, the brand itself. I just think that the way it was implemented is what really hurt it, in my opinion, because it didn't seem like it was a very niche like audience initially when it came in, and then to expect a bigger audience and for this in Steam and stuff was would be a little bit far-fetched, because they must have been like saying, okay, we need to get this amount of people interested in this game, and then they waited 8 or 9 months to finally do this, deciding, okay, we're going to be converting it to the number one place where it's going to be make or break for this to be like either successful or not successful, then and then convert it that way. Because like, dude, like, how many people are going to be playing this game on the Switch overall? I mean, I played it. Yeah, I know. I'm not saying that it was like it was bad or it was terrible, but the numbers could not have been astronomical. They could not have been like the numbers would have to have been, if you're lucky, maybe 4 digits. 1,000, maybe 2,000.
I had forgotten all about the game, and the only reason I rediscovered it was because I was in the middle of nowhere on a trip, and I was looking for a game to play, and I was like, oh yeah, I totally forgot about this game. And I started playing, and I was like, oh, this is actually fun. They shot themselves in the foot by just releasing on Switch and mobile. And I get it, mobile is huge, but again, a mobile freaking hero shooter game, there's no appeal to it. There's just no, at least for me, I'm sorry, not for the general public. Me personally, I was okay doing it on Switch just because I have separate controllers. I hated playing with the Joy-Cons. I hated it. Okay. Yeah, it wasn't pleasant. But you're right. To go 8 months and then be like, let's bring it to PC. Why was that not part of the original plan? Why was that not out the gate? Like there's these companies that make these dumbass decisions. I'm looking at you. Who is it? Is it Capcom? Capcom pisses me off. They piss me off with their, like, why can't they get crossplay right? Why do they always have to do the most ridiculous ass backwards thing for you to be able to play with your friends easily? Why is Xbox and Steam different platforms on PC? Why can't they just all be the same thing and we all play with our friends? Like some of these companies, I feel like make these just dumbass decisions that ultimately hurt the game. And it's like, well, I don't know why it wasn't successful. Well, I could tell you why. Here, you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why they do these things. So these games that actually are legit end up falling to the wayside and can't survive. Again, I think it's a shame that this was actually like a solid, fun, free to play, you know, hero shooter game. Are there plenty of other ones? Absolutely. But I personally enjoyed it and I thought it could survive, but clearly I was wrong.
Pop, what do you think?
I wonder if the Fortnite cycle of death will ever stop for certain games. I mean, I just don't understand. Like, I thought this game was doing pretty well on its own, and then for them to announce that it was shutting down, like, I don't know if they're upset that Marvel Rivals is doing well, being another free-to-play hero shooter type game, and I don't know. I don't think they're... I don't think the people that need to be in the room to help them decide on what they're going to do is actively being in the room as they should. It's was this game just only on the Switch? Was it ever on PC or anything?
No.
Switch and mobile.
Yeah, Switch and mobile, which is a wild option. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like they probably their big bet was definitely mobile. Had to have been mobile was number one. Their number one over Switch because the console. But to say that it's like, okay, we're going to choose a Switch over any other console or like PC, PlayStation, or Xbox and stuff. They chose the Switch. It's like, what? Like the one that runs the worst of them all is like you're gonna and then have the worst online presence. You're going to go on that. I mean, that's just I
understand.
Decision.
I kind of understand where they do it because it was a niche market that was fairly untapped. But there's a reason why it hasn't really been tapped because they're not going to make that same kind of sales as if you were going on. And I think Pop makes a great point with the success of Marvel Rivals and stuff too. At that point, you got to be like, we're going to come into the same market doing basically the same thing, but Marvel Rivals already has better incentives, free characters, this and that. They couldn't compete at that point.
I would disagree. It was too late. Well, I would disagree on the fact that they could, dude. The game, like Marvel Rivals, came out in December. This game came out like when did this game come out originally?
It was like spring, I want to say.
24. Okay,
of 20.
They could have easily said if they're going to make it into a port or into the thing to say that they're going to choose the Switch over Steam prior to Marvel Rivals even getting into that. Yeah. They have amples of time. They could have said that this was going to be coming out on Steam or whatever if they wanted the money. They like the way I look at it on the outside because I have no idea what the hell they were thinking initially when they released this game. The way when someone says that they're going to come out when they decide to release this game on Switch and on mobile, I would say like, okay, they don't care. They're not taking it seriously because they know they're not going to. They're not going to get the money or a lot of money from all of that. That doesn't make
sense.
So like, yeah,
June 2024.
Yeah, June 2024. Okay, so they had chances, they had opportunities to get a niche, an even bigger audience, and then especially what's even worse is that they actually put money at a convention promoting that it is coming on Steam, but then just in turn that it's not coming out. They waited too long. Like that just tells me that their plan on expansion was all over the place, and I think that that's what makes it sad. That
to me is a business failure. In terms of that, why? All right, that's great. You got a niche market that you're looking to target, but it's got to come out on the platforms where it's gonna count, where you're going to make the money. Yeah. And that they waited too long, unfortunately, for that. And by the time they try to jump in, it's like, sorry, but there's already things filling that void now.
Yeah, that's like if Assassin's Creed Shadows decided to be released solely on the Switch. It's like when you expect, like when you try to expect the release, like, oh yeah, this is a AAA game or it's going to be on the Switch. Yeah, no, it's like no, you kind of, they're kind of they kind of lay their made their bed on this with that choice, and I think that's what ultimately going with it. And what Vin was saying earlier, I'm sorry, Lucente was saying earlier, he says unfortunately mobile Switch isn't really going to draw the biggest audience for hero shooting life, and I understand that they probably didn't have the most dev resources in the world, but you gotta go for Steam nowadays. Like it's an absolute must. It's like even if it wasn't Steam, there was Epic or something. You need to have your game on PC.
Yeah, you gotta have a PC. You gotta have a PC market.
Yeah, because like your mobile,
the only games that can get away with that are gacha games. But the way they work on mobile, it's gacha games are niche enough to where they can get away with being on mobile first and then PC.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And what makes this looks like on the once again on the outside, it looks like what they were trying to do is that they thought that in the mobile side, the microtransactions was going to be very strong on the mobile side, thinking that their money was going to be coming from there directly.
Yep.
And then people who didn't, because I'm not a mobile or gacha or microtransaction person. If I got this game, it would be on the Switch or something. Then go from there and just to play the game. And then it made a decent audience, but unfortunately,
I mean, even on Switch, it was built like a mobile game, though. Like after each match, it'd pop up, get the bundle, or you know what I mean. Like it had dumb annoyances like that, so they built it out for sure with mobile in mind when they did it. You could tell from the freaking UI, which is one kind of like gripe that I have about Fragpunk. It feels like, you know, like First Ascendant, where there's just so much shit everywhere. Yeah, it's hard to discern what from what. That's what I get, that same feeling from Fragpunk. There's all the bundles and this and that. That game already has vibrant colors. Like it's overload looking at all the stuff on there. Like it almost like burns out my receptors, and I gotta look at something drab to be able to appreciate color again.
That is funny. Man.
It's an unappealing UI for me. I can understand, especially like younger people and stuff like that. Like, oh, you know, like, oh, this is popping and this and that. But like from my eyes, I'm like, yo.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it sucks. Oh, well, here's a question. I did have one question though. Like, so is there going to be an offline? So is this going to be completely scrapped, or is it?
It is going to be scrapped, my friend. Servers die October 1st. This is an all online game.
Wow.
Yes. So it is.
And that's what terrifies me when wanting to play games like this, man. Like it's like first it's like you don't know, like I don't know how good Fragpunk is going because I haven't heard any like good or bad things about it.
I know it's like been under the radar. Like yeah. But Spectre Divide just closed down.
Yeah, and that's the game that Shroud was a big part of too. And that was like, okay, I mean, it's scary. I was like, well, like you're going to put money in on this kind of deal, and it's unless it's Fortnite or what's it called, PUBG. Even PUBG is like you know, it's not as big as it once was. It's just like all these other games that you're getting into that you're wanting to get into. You don't know if it's worth the money at all towards it, because it could disappear overnight. You don't know what's going to happen. But man, it sucks. I mean, like I enjoyed watching you play this. I do remember watching you stream this a couple of times. It looked like a fun game.
It's fun. It totally was. It just never. It was not. They fumbled it from the jump off, limiting it to Switch and mobile. I don't know who made that decision, but I blame them. If I ever figure out who it is and I see them in person, I will personally shame them for destroying a fun game that could have been.
Yeah, I wouldn't even. Yeah, but like I wouldn't blame the IP itself with Star Wars, because I don't think Star Wars was the problem itself.
No, Star Wars is not the issue here at all.
Yeah,
it is whoever made the decision to limit it to Switch and mobile. Whoever was like, this is a great idea. Again, this is part of the issues that I'm having with the gaming industry, is that it's been so corporatized that corporations don't understand gamers. They are just throwing things that they think gamers will enjoy without actually knowing what gamers enjoy. So you get these dumbass decisions like putting this on mobile and Switch, where clearly it had the time and it would have, I feel, at least been relatively successful had it launched on anything on PC or a traditional console outside of Switch. Anything, I think it would have had more success. So it's these dumbass corporate decisions that are being made that they're thinking money bags where they should be thinking of the longevity and sustainability of especially a live service game.
Yeah, that's good. Well, that's well said.
It's a shame.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's definitely a shame. Well, rest in peace. Well, I guess it's not dead yet. October 1st.
Not dead yet. You can still play.
You can still play. Try playing.
That's right.
It.
We got a new season starts, I think, sometime this month. I mean, they're re-extending essentially last season, but the new character drop and stuff like that. No. So this last drop will be its last new content drop. Yes.
Yeah. So they're just going to be basically circling until they die. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. And that comes out on April 15th. Zynga.
Yeah.
Zynga. Right. That's
Zynga.
who it was. We should have known.
Games? Oh, I know
Zynga Games.
That.
Yes,
wow.
dude.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow, that's insane. All right. Well, folks, thank you for listening to episode number 255 of the CFG Game Cast. Thank you for being a part of the conversation. As always, we will be back again next week with a whole new set of different kinds of topics. But if you did miss out on this episode, that is perfectly all right. We do release on all podcast services at the beginning of each and every week. So there is absolutely no reason to miss out on all sexy voices. Guys, yes. Also, be sure to check out Monday. We're going to be releasing a lot of different kinds of cool things. Besides the podcast, we're going to be releasing a brand new review of Atelier Yumia this on Monday. So definitely check that out. It's a really good one. But once again, guys, this is Davis, Lex, Smitty, and Pop saying goodbye. Y'all, take it easy.
Bye.